Macronutrients, aka macros. What should they be looking like for you? So what are they exactly? Well, macronutrients consist of proteins, fats, and carbs. Quick little disclaimer, all these numbers specifically are coming straight out of what I learned at university. So with that being said, the average protein intake for a regular person should be anywhere between 0.8 to 1.8 grams per kilogram of body weight a day. If you want to do the math to follow along, just take whatever your body weight is in pounds and divide it by 2.2, and there you have it in kilograms. Now once you have it in kilograms, multiply it by whatever numbers I'm giving you within the range. So your protein intake can vary a little bit, whether you're just the average person or whether you're an athlete, and kind of depending on what sort of intensive training you were doing. So for the regular person, we're right in this range right here. It's anywhere between 0.8 to 1.2 grams per kilogram of body weight. As for my athletes, we are more in this range, anywhere between about 1.2 to 1.8 grams per kilogram of body weight of protein a day. So for example, if you're a middle distance runner, you might only require 1.2 to 1.5 grams per kilogram. However, if you're trying to pack on a bunch of muscle, maybe want to hit near to, on that, definitely on the higher end of the spectrum for sure. Rarely do we ever want to go above this 2.0 mark. If you're doing some sort of ultra endurance training, maybe your protein intake will really depend on how often your training sessions are, the intensity of those training sessions, and the amount of rest you are getting from those sessions. Now, we rarely want to go above this 2.0 range, mostly because it's mostly a special case sort of thing, but sometimes, at least regarding protein, more isn't always better because your body can't always absorb 100% of that protein. This is where bioavailability comes into play. So although maybe the wrapper on the protein bar says 20 grams of protein, you might only actually be absorbing 15 of those grams of protein. This is why egg whites are so popular, and eggs in general are so popular, just because they have such a high bioavailability amongst all food groups. Too much protein also may result in messing with your gut biome a little bit, so you might suffer from some sort of gastrointestinal distress just because of the amount of protein you are getting in. Might be a little too much for your gut to handle in general, and this may not be sustainable long term, especially if you are having these issues. When cutting or in a diet, protein becomes even more important. This is because it increases your metabolism and decreases your appetite. Not to mention, you want to at least have adequate protein in general, because a lack of protein may lead to a compromised immune system. Protein only digests about 10 grams per hour, so don't go stuffing your face with a bunch of protein right before you go to the gym thinking it's going to do you any good. Really, just by hitting your regular protein intake, this could change your physique quite a lot, make actual difference for you. Just remember that protein is more of a catalyst of growth for resistance training in order to build muscle hypertrophy. Carbohydrates have a much wider range, being anywhere between 3 to about 12 grams per kilogram of body weight per day. It really just depends on your energy expenditure for what you're doing daily and what sport you're playing, if any. For low intensity sports such as golf, anywhere between 3 to 5 grams per kilogram is fine. For very high intensity sports that last less than a minute, such as track or powerlifting, it could be anywhere between 5 to 7 grams. For my ultra duration athletes, anywhere between 8 to 12 grams per kilogram would be optimal. So once again, it's really just the amount of training sessions you were doing, the intensity of what you were doing the mat, how much rest you were getting in between each session. Now, yes, carbs are definitely one of the key reasons why people do gain a lot of weight, just because you're more susceptible to going back to second or thirds, depending on what you're eating. But that doesn't necessarily always make them the bad guy. For example, they are prime energy suppliers to getting better workouts and training sessions in. It's more important to get a more efficacious workout in and have rice in your system or some carb that gives you energy in your system than go to the gym, be lethargic, and feel all crappy, have a bad workout just because you are lacking carbs. Carbs are really the main savior in preventing you from becoming depleted. As far as fats go, you only need about 1 gram per kilogram of body weight each day. Now, we all know excess fat equals bad, but this is where a low-fat diet could come into play and really help you achieve a body composition that you prefer or that you dream for. However, there are essential fats. These are needed for hormone manufacturing, for things such as testosterone. A lack of essential fats also may lead to an inadequate replenishment of intramuscular fat storage. All in all, really just kind of see where you're at just during your regular day. Just keep track of them. Look at the wrappers, look at the back of the containers, see what you're eating of each macro, write it down, and either add onto it or take away from it. It's really up to you and your body to decide what is best for you. However, these are some tips and tricks to let you know what may be beneficial for you. And always remember, whole foods first, supplements second. This is because whole foods are a lot more nutrient dense than as opposed to supplements. Supplements should be something that are added onto it if need be. It shouldn't be a replacement for these whole foods. Enough science for today. Go outside, play with your friends, talk to a girl. Until next time, peace.